if we put in the budget, we want to. Tom, you have a comment?
I do. So it was mentioned that Tim Ellinger from UW Milwaukee is working on a grant program where he had gotten some dollars to work towards this kind of initiative. So from the financial aspects, there is a portion of it that would be covered under that grant or that project if he would be involved in that initiative or that process.
Well, let me get back to Bob Nauta and see if I can get some agreement with what he feels would make a good start, a good scope of the project, who would be involved, what we would do, how we would tie it into the ponds and,
Lake and ponds.
Lake and ponds. Are they the, before I say that, are they the only one, are they the one that we should use to get the DNR approval as opposed to a NADA or Erlinger?
We've used Lake and Ponds for the last 3 times, I mean, this being the 3rd time, and they're very familiar with any change, and he has been working with Heidi Bunk, which is who we have to go
So
to.
he's well respected by the DNR?
Yes. He is one that's been, suggested by the DNR to get it for this project.
Okay.
They gave us a list of 20 and he was on it.
You see aquatic plant,
I'm sorry?
the aquatic plant surveyor?
Yes, it's aquatic plants, where the plants are, what type of plants there are, and, the sensitive areas.
Well, yeah. Again, Tom, you're gonna be, I think, proposing about the same thing, and to me, we should combine forces here to come up with one document that we both can agree to, and both fund for that matter, whatever the funding may be. Do you have any comments on that, or?
Well, I mean, I think we're all strategic partners and we're all wanting to do the right thing for the lake. So to have an well 5-year plan that everyone's aware of and working towards makes perfect sense.
Well, let me go back and get a little more information from Bob and, talk about ponds, lakes and ponds, and see if we can come up with somebody developing, Bob can develop a scope of this thing, so. And I'll get back to the board on that, all right? And we'll put something together. We certainly would want everyone to be able to participate in it, okay? No question about it. I would want the Protective Improvement Association to have a seat and to sit down and their 2 cents worth and move forward with it. I see no reason to do it separately or by ourselves or anything like that. However, I will go out on a limb again, and I've said it before, and I think I may have hurt some feelings, but I guess I just can't help it. It is foolish and double paying to go to the Protective Association and take money that you have struggled to collect from certain of the residents and apply it to a project that the taxing authority has the full right to spread over every participant, and every participant should pay their fair share, not just those people that feel a little more altruistically about it and, or membership of you. If your board decides they want to throw money in, we'll take it. But my personal opinion is, it's not needed. If this project can't stand from our point of view on its budget and what we need to spend, it shouldn't be done. Plain and simple.
Money is not the thing,
It is with me, John.
no,
It's a point that I find is.
I mean, I'm on your
excessive.
side there, but I'm saying that what we want is the document, or whatever it may be, independent of how we get it, but have that document that all can buy into.
Absolutely.
And that's all it takes.
Did I not just say that?
What?
That's just what I said.
But we should put money aside for the time being. Let's figure out what we want, what we need, and how we're gonna do it. And then we can figure out the funding later. And you're right, we have the taxing power, so we could supply the funds if need be, if it's gonna take that much. But I think it's important to have the whole lake, buying into this thing. And I think the 2 organizations basically represent the lake. And
Point taken, John.
yeah, okay. But I'm not,
We're beating
Money
that
is
horse here on
secondary.
this even- on this.
maybe very important, but it's secondary right now, I think, until we get everything nailed down.
quick question.
Yes, sir.
So I understand you're kind of doing a two-track thing here. You're doing the requirements that are required for the permit to harvest weeds with the weed cutter. That's one aspect of it through the DNR. And then what exactly is the other aspect? You're trying to change the designation, the areas, the 7 areas of this
No, we're
lake?
not trying to change anything.
No?
We're trying to develop a master plan
Master
for the
plan.
lake.
Oh, okay, so like a long year,
Which talks about
You know,
the importance of the fish population, the well, maybe we should get into it, and I think, I hate to shudder this, I think I'll step down when we get into the wakeboard, and to determine whether or not wakeboards are doing any damage to the lake. That's gonna be a kettle of fish, so, to me, there's a whole big thing. You don't say, let's do a master plan, unless you're gonna take everything into consideration.
so they're like a 25-year plan or something, or 20-year
I
plan?
don't know that we can go out that far, but 5 to 10 years, I don't know, whatever foreseeable future.
be something that we all can see. You could look at it and say, hey, I like it, I don't like this, therefore I can't do this, I can't do that. But it'll give you guidance. They give everyone guidance on the lake.
Keep in mind that this, John, that this organization has a county representative, a town representative, Tom is gonna be involved. We have the weed person here, ourselves, and of course, anybody else from the town board that wants to participate, they'll be able to, but I also think we wanna get, I'd like to have a one-on-one meeting with the DNR involved in this too at some point.
Oh, yeah.
So that we know what they're saying, because they throw out these things, well, you guys should get a master plan. You know, to them, that's all they do for like, is sit down at a desk and draw plans and documents.
And the DNR is very volatile. as we know.
Yes, and then you'll see it one time, and then they'll change their mind
Yeah.
the next time. So I'd rather have something from it.
Is- Real quick, is there gonna be a riparian owner input, like all the lake owners on the lake?
That's what this body's all about, riparian owners.
Okay,
Sure. I mean, that's what the meeting notice is for, and if we discuss it,
but are you gonna have like a special meeting just for the master
We
plan?
don't know.
I don't
Oh. Okay,
you can't hold me to that one. I don't know how this is gonna work out. It may be that this is just too much work, too much money spent to do nothing.
Dave doesn't even really wanna do it, so.
No, I wanna do it if it should be done, but I don't wanna spend.
The sensitive areas were established in 1994, and they were established as sensitive areas, just that blanket coverage. Since then, the DNR has modified how they call those, and that, as recently as 2015, we were told by an administrative law judge that the sensitive areas were unenforceable unless they were called as NARI areas, or areas of special natural resource interest. Now the DNR classifies them as one, that there's no differentiation. So I think that's where master plans come in handy, when you're going up against.
Well, I think where we're coming in handy is get everybody on the same page.
That's right.
In what we're about to do and what we are doing. What should we be concerned about? What should we watch? What should we not watch? And I agree with that. And back to Val's point about getting into the budget, I don't see you coming up with something seriously in a couple months.
Well, no, my concern was if you
I
did
appreciate
it
that.
and we said we were gonna do it
Yeah,
like
and
next
if
year.
you probably will put something in the budget to adjust for the possible meetings and the money we're gonna spend just to develop the first part. Moving on. Resurvey sensitive area of Lake Beulah discussion, possible action. This was something that was given to me, and I have no particular, I think we've discussed this pretty much. Who wants to make a comment on it? Anybody?
It's part of our discussions.
Part of our discussion. Double D's discussion. Here's honest to God. Something we can get our teeth into, not some esoteric thing that maybe we do and maybe we don't do. We have a lease, and I've been pushing for a long time to get the lease to be brought current with the new leaseholders of Double D's. And you authorized me to go ahead and use the attorney and develop something, and Double D's came back to us and said, well, look, you know, what it says is that it should be increased by the Consumer Price Index in 1991. Well, in 2002 dollars, that was $2,098,620.97 in liability insurance. And of course, the insurance agent himself, you know, top of his head blew off. You know, we won't write insurance down to a penny. Matter of fact, they don't write it anything but less than $100,000 or maybe $50,000, that type of thing. So I have gone back to try to to alleviate that. I talked to them, and they're in agreement with this, as far as I know, that we will move with the new signing, and it'll be a new statement of the whole lease and everything. We will move the amount of primary liability insurance to protect Lakeville Management District from any problems they have, and would be called an additional insured, to the tune of $200,000. But rather get into CPIs again and have it vary, we've come up with the idea that every 10 years it will go up by the amount of $500,000. So that in 2 million will stay all the way to 2030, and at 2030, which time it'll go to 2,000,005, and after that it'll go to 3 million in January 1 of 2040, and so on. And that will put some easy way to increase the amount of insurance in something that can be done by, you know, a blanket policy. This is not a big policy or a big policy cost. This is just, matter of fact, putting the numbers down and what's protecting us. So, I would like a formal motion to go forward and get that kind of contract signed.
We have legal advice on this?
Yes, that's the other attorney you referred to.
And everything
He's drawing it up, it's right here. It's gonna be a 38-page document, okay? Because they're gonna re-record all the old stuff. So the recording fees alone will probably be $500. I don't know. What do they charge for recording fees?
$13 a page.
$13 a page, so there you go, times 38, figure it out. But anyway.
Just so we're good.
300.
Everything's right, so.
Yeah, I would like a motion, that we don't beat this to death. A motion, someone.
I'll make a motion to beat the death of.
That's what I like to hear, beat them suckers to death.
Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
Motion to approve, this, policy statement, and second by Stan. Any comments? Stop, John, good.
Has
I
the,
didn't wanna get out of here till maybe 8 o'clock.
has the parameters of the lease, is it still $1 a year?
Yeah.
So nothing's changed, only the insurance aspect of it changed?
Just the amount of
Okay.
fine tuning, the amount of insurance that they put down on the line somewhere that gets, you know, I don't think it costs them much to go.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All right, here's another one of these mysterious ones, I'm not sure how this came about, lake bottom disturbance in West End Lake. It got put on the agenda after several discussions, I don't, John, do you have any?
This is, it's come to our attention, and of course, we've seen it for a while. This is in your area, John, the pipes that are coming out of the lake at the base of your pier.
How is that disturbing the lake bottom?
It's on the lake bottom.
Oh, it's it's up in the air. It's visibly, you can see them in the air.
Doesn't it touch the bottom?
No.
Are you talking about pipes?
That's my turtle perch right there. If you come by there on a sunny day, you'll find 40 turtles down there sunning themselves.
When we talked to the DNR, said they weren't aware of it, but that shouldn't be there, and according to the town, you agreed to take it out.
I don't know, did I do something in writing to agree to the town? Actually, that's for my pet turtles. Everything in the bay there that comes over there, they sit on there, and I have pictures on my phone if you want me to pull one up for you. I can actually show you 40 turtles that sit there and sun themselves.
Do they have holes drilled into them? Are they draining water back into the lake from that wet area?
They're open. There's nothing holding anything. They're just open pipes.
What are they attached to?
They're attached to the poles that I have there.
And even the Protective Association has been concerned about this the same way.
There was a concern that possibly the intent is that in that cattail water area, you were attempting to drain the water back into the lake. So it
No,
would be drained.
nothing of the sort. As a matter of fact, I have a permit from Darren to create a boardwalk there. And the permit's been issued, but I've been a little busy with a different project. I haven't had a chance to get the boardwalk in, but there will be a boardwalk connecting that area where the pier ends around about 35, 40 feet over to the edge of the road there. So that permit's already been issued, and it's just a matter of when I get it in there. So
Now, the town did say you told them you'd take it out, and I know Mills was concerned because it hasn't happened yet.
well, I haven't taken them out because I haven't put the boardwalk in, but in the turtles' fairness, if you come by there on a sunny day, there's 40 or 50 turtles that are sitting there enjoying the hell out of it. So I designate those, I declare those my pet turtles, and that's where they sun themselves. They don't drain the water, they don't change anything in the water.
Right. Somehow it has to touch the bottom of the lake.
It doesn't touch the bottom of the lake. The pipes you can see visibly are above the ordinary high water mark. They're visibly sitting there.
And they slope down.
They're just sitting there, and everything has since grown over. But that's going to be where the boardwalk comes through that I've already got permitted.
So the boardwalk will go over the top of these pipes.
Correct, right. And there'll be gaps in the boardwalk so that the water and the sunlight can get down to the stuff underneath them, and they'll be 18 inches above per the Army Corps of Engineers. When I got the okay through them, you have to have them a certain height off of the bog there, the marsh there, whatever you want to call it.
So is it gonna be floating on top of the bog? Or
No. There'll be poles, probably 2 or 3 inch pipes. I forgot what's on my permit. I think they're 3-inch pipes that are gonna go down. No cribs, nothing, just simple little pipes this big. So you're not gonna displace anything, it's just gonna be a pipe going down. So it's not gonna disturb anything really down there. So there'll be no cribs, no stones, no blocks, nothing will be put into the wetland.
That was a story that I remember way back, at least a couple of years ago. Was that you received Army Corps of Engineer approval, basically because you were infilling the wetlands, but you were creating a temporary work platform so you could install.
Right, I just set the pole, the PVC in there. They're not doing anything, they're not touching the lake bed, but over the top of that will be the boardwalk. And then there'll be gaps so that the sunlight can get down to whatever happens to be growing underneath there. And what's actually gonna hit the bottom of the lake will be like a 3-inch pipe, like this, straight down. No cribs, no boulders, nothing taken in, nothing taken out.
Why is the town concerned then? Why did the town tell you to take it out and you agreed to take it out? That's what I don't understand.
Well, I don't know what the town's specific reasoning was. Maybe they didn't like the way they looked. But if you come by there on a sunny day, you'll find 40 turtles sitting down there enjoying the hell out of them. So why mess with the turtles?
I don't think you're messing with the turtles. The question is, does it touch the bottom of the lake at all?
No.
Say no.
No.
But how do you know? And why is it so steady, so static? Why is it? It's secured to something, right?
Well, it's sitting on what's there.
What's there?
The bog. I mean, it's not like you step there, you go right to the bottom of the lake. There's it's half ground and half not ground. So
Yeah,
they're
it's
just,
a sensitive area.
yeah, right.
That's the disturbance, I think.
Right. But there's going to be a boardwalk over the whole area there. So it's really kind of a moot point because the boardwalk is going to be there permitted and it's going to be down with 3-inch pipes. And I still want the turtles to enjoy themselves there. Come by on a sunny day. There'll be 40 turtles sitting there.
I think we'll refer this to the town and the DNR then.
Okay, it sounds like they're expecting some action, so let's finish up on it. All right, we'll move on. Now, Tom, you got citizens' comments, and like I said, I apologize, your name was being specifically mentioned, but you have a fish report?
I do, I have, and it's a request, it's basically a response to last fall when I came to get money for last year. I had asked for approval for this year, and it was requested that I do some follow-up to try to understand why the fish population seemed to be declining on the lake, to look into that and come back with a report. So I did do that, I've gotten to know the fish biologist for this model very well. He assures me that, there are no issues with the fish population on our lake, that all lakes across the state of Wisconsin experienced something last year, that they think it was just due to the weather patterns, and they're tracking it, but there was nothing more or less seen on our lake than any of the other lakes, in the state. And, they have not been doing fish surveys because of the whole COVID thing and the requirements of how the DNR has been working. They just have not been working in the field, because to do a survey, it requires having multiple people in the same boat together, and they couldn't do that per COVID restrictions. But they are now going to start doing, surveys again this year, and we're slated to have a survey conducted this fall on the lake. The positive thing that came out of the discussion from last fall is you also gave us the challenge to think outside of the box of doing some things other than just putting fish in every year. So that we have taken to heart, and this year we will be, in combination with releasing some perch into the lake, we're also going to be doing several projects to enhance habitat of fish spawning areas. By putting in fish spawning beds, and also working with Walleyes Unlimited, who is a partner that helped to stock walleye into the lake last year. We're looking at doing a grant where we would pay for half of it, Walleyes Unlimited would pay for the other half of it, and we would create some habitat areas on our lake to help encourage spawning of walleye. The last survey that was done showed that they did not capture any walleyes that indicated that there was spawning occurring on our lake. So this would be an attempt to encourage and create an area. And one of the things that walleyes require is moving water over a gravel bed for spawning. So we're identifying different areas on the lake where it would make sense to create this type of environment. So it's wherever a creek would be flowing into the lake, or where there is some sort of natural currents that are occurring because of the way that the water is infiltrating up through, you had mentioned earlier that our lake is spring fed, that it would be possibly through those springs. So that's all a partnership that's being done. So we'll continue to work with the fisheries biologist to monitor the situation on our lake. In working with them, we've decided to do perch this year. The walleye program is a state program. Triangle, who also donates money to our program, insisted that we do walleye. But what the DNR did is basically the money that they donated, we purchased walleye to put into the lake, but the DNR backed off the number of walleye that they put in free to match the number that was in their 5-year plan. So we just basically lost
They
out.
outsmarted you.
They did. It makes no sense to me at all, but we will not be doing any sort of walleye introduction. It'll all be done through the state and the state programs. So my request is what we're looking to do this year. We also have gotten some very generous donations. Our newsletter, our dues letter went out, and the responses are coming back very strongly, and people are writing additional checks. We have an extra $5,000 that we've received already this year, over and above what we normally would get, just kind of as a thank you for the contributions that we're making. So we're excited about that. So I would like to make the ask to get the annual $1,000 donation from your organization to put towards this program, knowing that it's a 50-50 split. Half of it will go towards fish habitat building, and the other half will go to putting perch into the lake.
I have one neophyte question.
Yep.
I've had a couple of my friends that are supposedly fishermen say, all you're doing is putting bait fish in the lake for the bigger ones to eat up, and they'll never grow. Is that true?
That is not true. What is true, though, is the success rate. So for every 100 fish that we put in the lake, only 15 of those will reach adulthood.
Is
So
that
there is a
is
very
that a pretty
high-
fair success rate?
What's that?
Is that a decent, good, bad success rate?
So that's just what they found over the years from doing this.
Okay,
But what they
I was just
They
curious.
do say it's trying to balance out the fish species